Are you torn between building a business to sell quickly or creating a lasting legacy? Today I want to delve into the key differences between these two approaches and why building for the long term might be more beneficial. Hello, I'm Anatoly, a co-founder at Schemus. After 9 years of running our software development business, I had a surprising conversation that changed my perspective. Over lunch with the CEO of a larger company, we discussed market trends and our business's performance. As our conversation deepened, he asked me a question that caught me off guard. The question was, what is your exit strategy for your business? This question caught me by surprise. After 9 years in business, I had never really considered an exit strategy. We were always focused on servicing our clients, expanding our services, and perhaps switching a business model in the future. But the idea of exiting didn't cross my mind. After that conversation, I began to inquire about the exit strategies of other business owners. Many of them expressed desire to sell their companies within the next few years and pursue other ventures. That is why I wanted to make this video, to share my perspective on why I believe this approach is suboptimal and can significantly increase the risk of failure of such businesses. Let me illustrate this with a little story. Imagine a person like John. He has a brilliant business idea that he believes people will love. So he starts a new business to grow it to 10 million profit and then sell it. John already envisions himself living in a large home with his family, flying on a private jet, vacationing on luxury resorts, and driving super fast cars. He gets his finances and dream team in place and started to execute this business idea like crazy. Less than he can notice, he lands his first client. In the next couple of months, he is doing $1 million a year in revenue and growing his team to get even more business and more revenue. At this point, John is a business owner wearing multiple hats. He is a salesperson, customer support, marketing director, CEO, COO, and whatever role he needs to do to make his business grow. At some point, usually around 2 million in revenue or around 30 employees, he has so many duties that he doesn't see the light of a day. Customers are complaining to him with their problems and complain that some feature is not working or service is not delivered as promised. There is a conflict between employees who are pointing fingers at each other and complaining about the lack of requirements from customers. Customers are pissed, employees quit, and John needs to settle with his clients and find new employees. He becomes overwhelmed with all the arrows coming his way and wearing all these hats. John is a strong, resilient, and totally motivated person to get his company to the next level. So he works even longer hours, slashing all problems left and right like Chuck Norris. But as soon as he patches one leak, 2 more appear. Next year, Mike looks at business that John is running and decides that his business is great, and Mike should do the same thing but cheaper, faster, and better. Now John has to worry about all the problems he has in his business and Mike as his new competitor. He has to look forward and backward at the same time and becomes even more overwhelmed. At some point, John gets tired and decides to sell his company and make at least a couple million instead of big pile he thought once. Yes, he might not be flying private jet the house may be smaller and resources cheaper, but at least he will not be worried about money anytime soon. He can rest for a bit and will have a capital for his new venture. John finds Jim, a potential buyer who runs multiple companies and sees an opportunity to expand his portfolio to get new, promising business under his belt. Jim looks at the company numbers and he is pretty impressed, as the business is super optimized. There is no financial overhead, growth is massive, and profits are great. When they get to operational questions, Jim finds out that the primary knowledge holder and the operator of that business is John, and all other people are just doing what he says, when he says to do it. This means that company without him is not worth that much, and all these numbers looking great on paper will be de minimis if Jim needs to hire a bunch of managers to replace John, and John, on the other hand, is already on his dream resort drinking margarita and is not coming as part of the deal. So Jim decides to back out from this deal. Now John has two choices: keep struggling with his business or close the company and let his competitor Mike conquer the market. He has to choose between bad and worst scenarios now. The moral of this story is this: a lot in business and life depends on mindset. If you build a business and think about how to sell it as soon as possible, you will be doing all kinds of shortcuts that harm a business in the long run. You'll be thinking about looking good on paper instead of building a strong business foundation. Develop your people, systems, and processes that can work without you being involved. If your business is a system, then the worst thing that can happen to it is it will be producing your income without you being actively working there daily. And guess what? This kind of businesses has also more value for sale, as buyers will be willing to pay more for a profit-generating machine. That is why I think building business for the long run and not just for short gain is much more valuable and profitable goal to have. This is all for today. I hope this story was helpful. If it was, please hit the like button. If you would like to debate this topic more, I welcome you to the comment section below and happily answer any questions.